Welcome to the Fate Nation podcast, where your hosts Manny, Heavy, and Fox discuss the world of gaming. New features and releases, unpopular opinions, and everything in between. Now, let's get into today's episode.
Started in 3, 2, 1. Hey, welcome to the Fate Nation podcast. I'm here, your host Manny, along with Fox and Heavy. They're here. Somewhere.
We're here somewhere. Who knows where?
They're over on the sides of me somewhere.
Yeah.
But shout out to Fate Gaming for sponsoring and hosting and buying our trailers and our salaries for, of course, Heavy and myself. Mm-hmm. Fox is still on a trial period until she gets paid.
Well, I don't want your filthy American money, so.
There we go.
Perfect.
There we go.
Man, we raking in now. We were setting aside a good chunk of change for you.
Dang, I know, right? Well, happy Sunday, you guys. This is we're recording a little bit earlier this month because I've got some travel plans coming up this month. So we're going to record today, get this sucker out on, what is this, St. Patty's Day week. Oh, yeah. And then it'll be 4 or 5 weeks before we record again. So hopefully everybody's liking, subscribing, and hitting that notification button, right? So they can check out when our new stuff comes out.
Boo.
But anyway, how's everybody doing, right? Sunday chill day for us?
Very chill. I'm extremely hungover.
Oh, that's
Good.
no problem.
Good. Cool.
Yeah, girl.
That means you had a good night.
Yeah, girlfriend and I played YuGiOh.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, we made this YuGiOh drinking game. So how it works, like a bunch of the rules are just dumb, what you'd expect. Like you take X amount of damage or more in a turn. You play cards that allow you to draw more cards kind of thing, right? Nothing crazy. But one of them, and I love working towards this, is if you make the other person deck out, they have to chug a hole. And we were drinking High Noons, the vodka seltzer ones. And I made her deck out game
I was going to say,
one.
how many? You built your whole deck around milling somebody.
So my deck is a burn deck, but it also burns cards.
Okay.
So I was like, okay, I'll just negate all my burn damage, but I'm gonna force you to drop every card in that deck.
Nice. I mean, mill decks drive me insane. Like if somebody's playing a mill/burn against me in Magic: The Gathering, I'm like, damn.
Yeah.
I can't get going. I can't get my engine going because everything's going away.
Yeah, I mean, that's the same problem those decks have, though. If you can't get it going turn one, like, you lose. The burn deck does not work. It's not very good at holding. It's very good at controlling from turn one, which thankfully all worked out. And I won all 4 duels. So I'm the best duelist, and she's a little heated about it.
Oh, I bet.
Yeah, but she came up with a rule that was because I was winning so much. She was like, if you win 3 in a row, you have to chug one, and I did. And then I won the 4th and went, we need to go to bed. I'm very sleepy. I don't feel right. I don't think I'm gonna wake up in time for the podcast if I.
Oh no!
I don't figure this out right now.
That tells me she is better at drinking than you.
No, she was way more hungover.
Oh no! and we had to deal with daylight savings, unlike Fox.
Yeah.
Daylight savings, which by the way sucks. I hate it.
We do have it.
Stupid.
We do have it. It's.
Oh, you do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just not right now.
It's just terrible. It's
Yeah.
just terrible. But you said you have Mother's Day is today.
Yeah, Mother's
that what
Day
you
is
said?
right now. Right now.
Wow. That's awesome. Oh, and your mom's in the other room just waiting for you to finish up the pod, right?
So that way you can celebrate her more.
I mean, we did a lot of celebrating, and
I feel like it wasn't
okay.
enough. Wow, you think that's enough for your mother? God, you're awful.
No, nothing.
Oh, my mom needs it for a week.
Literally nothing is enough for my mother, and she deserves all the things. She can have all the things.
Oh my
She
God.
deserves all of the things.
Hey, you're the one sitting here looking like, well, we did a lot. Like, well, apparently not enough. Be a
We're
better
on the
daughter.
same page.
Yeah.
That is exactly.
Okay.
It's like,
if
not enough.
If my mum heard you talking like that, she'd be like, "Shut up, you gross American." Just
Yeah. Yes.
Gross. Excuse me. I'm cute as hell.
nah.
And honest. Just
No.
honest. That's all. Like, what can you say? What can you say?
Oh, and other news, very quick side tangent. So last week we had a community golf at night, which was very fun. If you were there, thank you for dropping by.
Nice.
I had a lot of fun kicking everyone.
You had a lot of people in there too.
We did have a lot of people.
Yeah.
It was hard fought. I got targeted a little bit, but I won 2 in a row. Golf
nice.
champ. But at the very start, when we switched channels, I wish Fox had switched with us because you would have heard it right away. Xanther said, "Heavy, it's so great to see you. You're my favorite part about the podcast," and I'm gonna rip that audio.
Oh, well, one guy, Xanther, please.
Hey, I'll take it from Xanther. Love you, baby. Love you, baby. Yeah. Thanks for listening.
He's really good at being complimentary to whomever may be in the channel.
Oh, I can't wait.
That's all.
You know how like we all have our like little things like next to our name, like mod or lead. Next to Xanther, can we just put like?
Yeah.
The brownest nose.
Something.
Hey,
I'm going the other side. But good for you. Good for you. You guys had a good. I think there was one Friday, this past Friday too, at fategaming.com. By the way, 18+ community. Everybody should join and have fun because we do have a lot of events, and we had one on Friday that was like Goose Goose Duck or something which is that was a lot of fun.
It's Among Us, but better.
Right. Oh, okay. It is kind of cool. And I was actually winning, which was great. All I was doing, I was running from room to room, just sniping ducks as soon as I saw them. Like, I didn't even give
way less buggy, and there's like a lot more that you can do.
Oh, okay. Yes.
There's like a lot of different
game
modes.
It's way less buggy. A lot of game modes. Because we had a smaller amount of people, as far as the turnout, we had to play a certain mode where you worked as a team together. Some people were scanners and some were snipers. And every time I got sniped, everybody was dead. Like, I didn't even give a if you walked by me, you were dead.
Note to self, play no games with friendly fire with Manny. None.
No.
Homie is just lasering.
And I won 2 games, so I'll take it. But we do a lot of those activities like you're talking about, which is awesome. And I just want to mention, we've got a charity poker tournament coming up on March 22nd. It's 8 p.m. Central, 9 p.m. Eastern. We'd love to have as many people. Or if you can't even play, just buy a $5 seat, and someone else who can't afford it can hop in and play with us. The winner gets, Fate Gaming merch. Yep. And all the proceeds are going to saltydogpaddle.org. That's the organization, and basically it helps any animals that need surgeries and stuff, and their owners can't afford it. It gives money to those dogs or animals or cats or whatever that need turtles, birds, whatever.
Good cause.
Very good cause.
Yeah, no, really. Yeah, good cause.
And hey, it's an animal one that I didn't choose for once.
I know, right?
Someone else said we're going to work on that, and I appreciate you.
Well, I just hired a new employee, and I thought as a nice gesture to her, she would pick out she works for 2 different charities that are somewhat local. That one is definitely in the Tampa, Florida area. And anyway, it's just a good cause. Help out some animals. We've been doing a lot of charity work over the past, I would say 12 to 18 months. Correct me if I'm wrong, for vets, for mental health, all those kind of things. So we thought we'd just change it up a little bit this one time, and help out some animals. For sure. Yeah, exactly. So anyway, shout out to Fate Gaming for that charity poker tournament coming up on March 22nd. Please sign up. La-di-da-di-da-di.
And join Fate Gaming to get your ass kicked by me in Golf It, because I have 103 hours in that game.
Oh my God.
I have 103 hours.
Hey, golf games.
Love that.
There's too much Golf It.
No, it is not. It's not enough Golf It. Fox, we should go play right now.
You can't make me.
I can't, but I can be very rude until you do. It's about my own skill set.
Why don't we move into one of our segments, perhaps? Sure. Heavy's Hangout or Fuk House, whatever. I don't know what you guys want to do.
Yeah. Don't mind.
Fox, do you have stuff?
Welcome to Fox's Fuk House on the Fate Nation podcast.
on the friendly fire thing that you were talking about, you Heavy Helldivers, I always have the lowest friendly fire.
Oh, okay.
Again,
Okay.
Again, the point of it wasn't that you would have high friendly fire for all engagements. It's that you would kill me because I would yell at you.
You never specified that.
I did.
Oh,
Go listen to the podcast back.
Yes.
Go run that back. I said all those words
At the same time.
in the same sequence.
At the same time. Shh. Indoor voice.
No. It's my house.
Oh man.
I'm gonna be loud.
Mom just showed up on Mother's Day.
God, this is my house.
Me and Mum might have had some wine.
Yeah, no you had some wine.
I guess.
And so, yeah, like, I don't know, like, it depends what you're yelling at me about. It's PvE.
He was just stating a
like,
fact.
Right.
He was just.
But the point is always, I'm gonna yell at you to do better. Always just do better.
You know
It's
that
never
doesn't
anything.
encourage me. It never encourages me.
I don't care if it encourages you. Do better.
It won't
So
work.
what about the? I was gonna say, what about the game now that you guys like different? Like we talked about it before you had even played it last time.
So I've played it. I don't know whether Heavy has yet. It's really good. Very like it's still kind of it hasn't been too buggy for me. I've had friends who have played it where it's been buggy on them or a bit crashy, but like my experiences, I've had one crash, and for a game that is not like a big game, not like a huge studio, and it was at the time the servers were getting slammed, and it was a new update.
Oh, yes.
I'm going to kind of go, yeah, that's fair. And now they have mechs, which is pretty awesome.
Sweet.
They have mechs heavy. There are mechs in it. They have rockets and miniguns on the
that
mechs.
much
It's
closer to
great.
the perfect Gundam game.
I mean,
Nice.
they
Where all
can't-
my Gundam fans at?
That said, they move like
Yeah, I expect that.
they move like a tank. So
Right, I
and
expected
not
it
a
to be
good
very
tank.
like Gen 1 mech, where it's like kind of just angles, it shoots rockets, it's done.
Yeah, it's good.
Yeah.
Like, and so I really enjoy the fact that it's like a persistent universe where everybody, like, you're having an effect on the whole, which that is a really
that's cool.
part of it. Like, to sort
Right.
of be like, okay, so we fought like things for several hours on this planet, and you know, other teams have been doing the same, and something's happened. Something, you know, things have occurred, and then it's fun to go back in like a couple of days later and see, oh, like the robots are getting closer.
Yeah.
We gotta go stop the robot invasion with
We
democracy.
should do something about those robots with the democracy. Yeah.
And it's a large. I like that idea, that timeline length of a campaign.
Yeah.
Like we had talked about a little bit earlier, but now that I've watched even more people play it, I haven't played it obviously, but it's just so cool to kind of watch too while I'm doing other work or something. I'll throw
It's
YouTube on and watch
great
people
to
play.
throw it on, yeah.
Yeah, it's also been like there was a time when my friend, because you get, for anybody who hasn't played it, you get operations where you get kind of a couple of missions that you do one after the other in order to get the rewards from the whole thing. And one of my friends was doing one, and I just kind of saw him online playing it, and I was like, well, I'm going to drop in, because I know that he wanted to play it at some point. Dropped into his game, just as he kind of like exploded.
Oops! You dropped in.
I
on
didn't
top of
drop
him.
on him, no. But it's like,
Oops.
his whole thing, it wasn't going well, and I think
Oh,
he'd had
gotcha.
several teammates like who were like randoms who had come in and like it up, and then decided they were gonna just leave.
Yeah.
And so I dropped in, and then just like he had just asked for extraction, and so the plane came in. I don't know, there was like a couple of seconds left, and I was like, well, no time for reinforcements, I guess I'll jump in the plane.
It's time to go. You're in and out.
So, so I landed,
awesome.
jumped in the plane, left, and like I just got a text from Hill later going, "You saved my whole operation."
Oh my
I got
God.
all
You
these
saved the
medals.
day.
I saved the day by doing nothing. It was great.
The
So-
But it is
realest
cool.
hero.
I would say it's cool though that you can do that. Like your friends
Yeah.
playing, even if you're not on Discord, or you're not talking to them, or you're not arranging anything, you can just drop in and start playing with your buddies when they're playing.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I mean, I love that.
Yeah,
That is
it's
so
a
cool.
really good fun game. It's the multiplayer aspect, like it invites a lot of fun situations to happen like that. So, yeah, it's good. Do recommend people should play it. I've seen a lot of people like in the Fate server
Oh, yeah.
playing it.
Yeah.
Definitely.
yeah.
Well, it's heavy. You got to play it at some point soon.
Yeah,
it sounds
Heavy.
like.
I will be.
Cool.
It did get pushed to the side due to an unforeseen circumstance called Final Fantasy VII Rebirth.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
And now it's time for all the latest news. It's Heavy's Hangout.
Okay, so for those who don't know, I am a huge JRPG fan. I grew up playing you don't know about. Like that real weird, like when you went to go to the video rental store and you saw those weirdo games, those weirdo box arts, and you're like, I will never touch that. I was that kid. I touched
Okay.
all those. So I saw a lot of when I was a kid. Anyway.
Nice.
Yeah.
That aside, you know.
No, that's
Yeah.
a big part of it. Anyway.
Mhm.
So
That's a big part of the mental screw up now. Got it.
exactly. It's what led us to this moment.
That's why
Right.
you are the way you are.
Right.
Okay.
Nah, you're pretty
Yes.
together. But anyway, so grew up on them, loved them. I played Final Fantasy VII, the original, a bunch of times. I love it. It was very great. Not as good as 6. I will fight to the death on that one, but it's still an amazing game. Anyway, so I played the remake when it came out in like 2018, 2019, and I despised it. I hated
wow.
it. Yeah, they were doing a whole bunch of things with direction. I'm not going to explain the whole game. It is a long explanation to do any of this, so we're not going to do that. But it boiled down to the story changes. I wasn't for them. I wasn't intrigued by them. The lack of story changes for the characters wasn't engaging because you're changing pieces for the big picture, but the characters aren't changing with it. So where's the enjoyment there, kind of thing, right?
Right.
And the combat was pretty fun, but it needed to work out some kinks. Side quest wise was terrible. I hated it. Then Rebirth comes out and I'm like, okay, maybe I'm kind of curious to see where they're going with this. I know that they're kind of expanding into a pseudo open world type thing, where it's not completely open world, but they have
nice.
like those Ubisoft check marks where it's like you go unlock a tower and you can go find other things to do and do those other things and whatever, right? So
Right.
the thing is, it's actually really great. And it's not at the same time.
Cool.
So why it's great is because those side quest things that I mentioned in Assassin's Creed, right? That's boring after a while. You climb
Oh,
the
God,
fourth tower to scan an area
Yeah.
and you're like, I don't care.
Yeah.
I like
So you go do a main quest, right? But after X amount of times doing it, it does get a little stale because you're not getting anything new out of it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Whereas with this, it's actually kind of done in a way where you feel like you're helping the planet, which is the whole point of the series. The idea is bad corporation taking everything from a planet and bleeding it dry. You guys are the ones who know what's happening and doing something to stop it or whatever, right? So a lot of those like open world missions feel like you're doing a lot of awesome things to help the planet, and I love that. It's very thematic in its storytelling, and I love that kind of stuff. Combat is better, which that doesn't matter. It just is better. The parts where it's not great, Yuffie exists, which those of you who haven't played the game, you don't know what I'm talking about. Those of you who do know who Yuffie is.
Yeah.
Perfect. Yeah, I hate Yuffie. I hate Yuffie. Also, Vincent, the cool vampire, is
Right.
not a playable character.
Oh,
Really?
geez.
Spoilers. Yeah, he's not playable. in
Just
this
story. Just story popping.
game. Just story popping stuff. Yeah. Sid
Oh,
Sid
God.
isn't either, but he's just a pilot. So moving on.
Right.
However, one kind of hit or miss thing is the pacing of the game. I haven't beaten it yet, but I am very close. The pacing of the game is all over the place. Sometimes you have this weird, awesome emotional beat. Like there's a specific one with a character named Barrett. There's a character from his past, and he has to work through this kind of very traumatic moment. It hits hard. It doesn't end satisfying. It doesn't end with, and now we're all good. Like, no, it actually ends 10 times worse than that. And it's really powerful and moving. And then you go play mini games. But before that, you were also playing mini games. Yeah, it's so
interesting.
Yeah, it doesn't fit. Also, before that, you were on a date.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, with one of your party members. Which, to those of you who are planning on playing the game at some point and don't want to date Aerith, skip 2 quests that are Aerith front. If Aerith is in the front, skip those quests. I know what I'm saying. You have to skip a quest that sucks. Skip it. Skip it. Otherwise,
if you're a completist. You can't. You can't
I
skip.
thought the whole point was that it was like
Yeah.
my girlfriend, my boyfriend, and my girlfriend.
No. You only got one. But if you go with Tifa, you get to kiss her, and she's got massive. So
I
you
mean,
know.
she does, yeah.
Yeah, she's got elephant, dude.
So
Holy shit.
It sounds like they put a bunch of different game types, just slapped them together as a test to see which ones are going to work for the next rollout or whatever.
Kind of.
And then,
Part of it is that Final Fantasy VII, this chunk that they're doing.
They're doing
that
3 or
wasn't the
4
original.
games, right?
It should be 3. If they do 4, I'll scream. But it all equals out to about 3 games of content.
got it.
Which makes sense. It was 3 discs back in the day, and they're long, and they've managed to make these like 80 to 100 hours. So I totally get it. This section was part of an area called Gold Saucer, which is big mini games. Think of it as like a casino of mini games. And because of that, they've decided to kind of expand the whole game into that. So there's like mini games everywhere, which is kind of cool and in a way because pacing wise, it destroys the pacing. But on the other side of it, they're all unique mini games, which is kind of fun because you're getting like a whole brand new like fight simulator, ride a bike simulator, Mario Kart. There's essentially a Mario Kart that plays 10 times worse than Mario Kart.
That is awesome. I love destroying my daughter in Mario Kart, so that's totally my jam.
Yeah. I wouldn't recommend this game to you, Manny.
No, there's no time. I don't have the time.
You don't have the
do
time
that.
for a game like this.
But I used to love that kind of game, though, like Final Fantasy games. Oh my god.
Which one is
Like,
6? Is that the one with Boy with Tail or not?
No, that's 9. That's Zidane. 6 is the one where there are 9 main characters.
Is it the one where they have guns on swords?
No, that is 8.
Yeah. She's getting close, though.
You're
getting so
dialing
close.
it down. You're titrating.
Yep.
Is the one with the big sword and the pointy hair? Nope, that's 7.
You're right. But getting close.
We're almost there.
There's so
is
many
that
of them.
Is that the game you were going to kind of talk about on the show then?
Yeah,
or
this
we
is
just bring that. Okay, cool.
This is pretty much what I wanted to say about it. If you want to play the game, I won't hold it against you, but I also don't think it's for everyone.
Yeah. Well, not all the newer ones, I would say, not all of those are for everybody. That was, way back in the SquareSoft early days. Just because they've expanded their horizons on what they're doing. They've got different directors and producers of the games that have way different influences and thoughts and processes on what they're going to make. So I get it.
And
I get that.
I mildly appreciate what they're going for because you could, and I would have bought it 100%, not going to lie to you. If they had just made the games pretty and brought them into the future, that's it. That's all I care about. I'd play it. I'd play it. I'd buy it. Take my money. But they want to tell a story with it. Yeah, but instead they're doing this kind of meta storytelling where there are these like ghostly figures keeping everything on track, canon. But the characters are learning that everything is locked in this way and are trying to essentially break fate. and we'll see how the ending goes because of that. I have some feelings about it, but I'm gonna wait a while and let them digest. On the other end, though, because that's it for Final Fantasy VII. I don't want to talk about that game. I got to go play 45 more hours of it.
I
Also,
like that
Yuffie and Kate Sith. Kate Sith is a cat that's not actually a cat. It's a robot controlled by some dude named Reeves at Shinra, which is the bad guy company. And he's like, oh, I'm going to help the world by being this little cat idiot that talks like this.
I always thought that he was a cat.
No,
well, you know.
it's
No.
a robot. Well, spoilers for a game that came out 20 years ago.
Spoiler. Yeah, right.
Or
exactly.
no, way
I
more
was
than that.
I was definitely going to play it.
Yeah, that was big in your alley. Now, the other
I
thing I want to
mean-
talk about, but I don't want to talk about it much because I'm giving everyone the
Okay.
chance, is Dune Part 2.
Yeah, I haven't seen it yet.
I will not say much about it other than please go see it in IMAX. It is, I don't talk.
Oh, I'm sure it's awesome.
It's amazing. It is amazing. It is.
When I saw Avatar, even though I didn't care for it all that much,
Right.
the second Avatar, when I saw it in IMAX, that was like an unbelievable experience.
That's what I've heard. Yeah.
It was awesome, man.
So there's
Because you were like there.
Yes, and that's a big thing with Dune Part 2. One thing I love about the IMAX experience with certain movies is that certain movies are mixed perfectly for IMAX. And there's 2 segments in Dune Part 2 that were perfect for IMAX because it's so much sound that it reverberates through you, but you feel that interaction with the character, what they're doing on screen. One of them has to do with a worm, so you can imagine a lot of rumbling and stuff like that. So
yeah.
it hits exceptionally hard, and the story is done exceptionally well. Obviously, if you've read the books, you
see,
know what's
that's-
happening, but
That's the thing. So I've got multiple friends that have seen it. I've got both female, male, whatever, that have seen it. And I would say, so all the people that read the books, right, which I have, love the movie because it is part 2. It's not part done.
no.
Okay.
No.
It's not even close. It's supposed to be part 2. And even if it reflects book 2, which it wouldn't do it in its entirety because the books are massive, by the way, if people don't know, those people loved it. The other half of the folks, oh my God, this movie's terribly boring. And I'm like, listen, if you read book 2, there's a lot of, I don't call it dead air. It's just you're building up what is supposed
It's
to
a
happen
setup, right?
3 books later. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like there's build up in it. And for me, if it's anything, and I talked about this before, if it's anything like Lord of the Rings and the extended version movies are more like the books, then that's the way it should be.
Yeah.
So,
And
and
that's
hopefully
what it
there's an
is.
extended version of the movie.
If there is, I'll be
some
so
point.
excited.
Of course.
Yeah.
So,
'Cause I
without
definitely-
ruining it, I mean, I do want to see it. I want to see it, but I got to wait just a little bit.
That's totally fine. I don't want to spoil it for anyone. I really want people to experience this.
Yeah.
Especially for like people like us who have read the books and are super into the world and know what's really coming, right? Like there's a lot of insanity that's coming.
Real insanity.
Yeah,
Like,
so that it's
things,
it's a setup movie for like payoff that
yeah.
you're gonna get further down the line. So
Yes, but there is also payoff within the movie. It's not
Yeah,
like
well,
it's just
Sure.
like there's nothing. There is actually a lot of really good
yeah,
payoff.
so stuff, but that kind of that happened in the original, like the first part where
right.
they were setting stuff up, and then a whole bunch of things happened, and
Of course.
you didn't get sort of like I have an idea of like an overarching narrative that's happening here. You were having a bunch of characters introduced to you and then not introduced to you, and the world built for you. So I assume this is just more of that. It's just more world building and more kind of to get you more invested.
It should
in
be.
it.
It should be.
It is and it isn't. How it works is the world building is contained within the world. There is a little bit of expansion with
'cause
the
there are
one
several-
faction.
Yeah.
Well, actually, no,
Yeah.
2 factions. I'll say. I won't say anything more than that. But with 2 factions, we get a little bit more world building. We get to understand them a little bit better. But there are a lot of the focus is on the planet Dune or Arrakis, whatever one you want to call it.
Now, I was gonna say too. Let's be honest. This is still a Hollywood-made movie, right? So there has to be payoff within the movie to get the regular dolts to go along with the fact that it's a movie.
The regular
and they're
dolts.
going to see a movie. Yes, I'm gonna call them dolts.
Okay.
So I'm just saying, like, there's got to be a little bit of some Hollywood, condiments on it.
Oh, absolutely.
Just to add some flavor.
And there absolutely is. But when you watch it, Manny, you'll notice, just because you've read the books as well, and this goes for anyone, there are going to be some scenes that you want expanded further, that you're going to watch and be like, I kind of wish they had let this breathe just 5 more minutes. 5 more minutes.
Right.
Mind you,
and that's why I'm hoping
the movie
is extended version.
I hope so too, but the movie is 2 hours and 46 minutes. So.
Oh yeah.
Holy,
no, I get it.
I didn't know it was that long, but
it is a trek.
It needs to be longer.
It
needs
does.
to be 4 hours plus.
Yeah, no,
4
I
hours
understand
plus.
like how much of it there is in order to put into a movie. Which when I was a lot younger, I had no idea. I thought Doom was just the one book.
Yeah, right.
But
No, sure.
that's when I was like 10. So.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I mean, when Sting's on screen, you're like, this is perfect. Why do we need to go anywhere else? I'm just kidding. But anyway, I got to talk. Well, you just talked about a movie, so I'm going to talk about a show that I've been watching, which is absolutely fantastic. Unless, Fox, you had something else you wanted to
No, I'm good.
talk about.
The Fuk House is closed.
The Fuk House is closed. So the show that I just started watching that just came out is Shogun on FX. Okay, and it's brand new. There's 3 episodes out. Very cerebral in the first episode. It's like an hour and 5 minutes or something like that. Okay. But it's all about the, history of the Portuguese, the Japanese, the warrior sects at that time in the, I think it's 18th century. And the interaction between also Christians, coming on board that hate the Portuguese, the Catholics. The Protestants come in, hate the Catholics. They have their own problems. But, of course, they're doing all this while in the background wanting to take over Japan at that time. And the warring sects of Japan have their own problems. So there's a ton of buildup and everything. But the way it's shot, the story writing, unbelievable. But I will say there's a lot of, it's all subtitles too, because you're speaking, different languages across the board, Portuguese, Japanese, and then
English.
There's, the English come in.
You can't understand us very well.
But the buildup of the characters and the, building the landscape of everything in the first episode is just unbelievable. It's so good. And then the action and how much money they must have spent. It's Game of Thrones-esque in the expansive scenes and shots. Of course, a lot of it's CGI too, of course, but it's still pretty freaking amazing.
Ooh, and it has Hiroyuki Sanada, so I will be watching it.
It's fantastic. It's a great show. I totally recommend it. Now, again, people are going to be turned off possibly by the first episode because you're like, what the is going on here? There's so many storylines and characters that you're just kind of thrown into, from the Portuguese, the Japanese, and of course the English that are coming in, and you're just like, what is going on? But then it just starts to unfold and become the coolest kind of mind bender as far as the strategic movements of what these leaders are doing to pawn each other against each other. It's fantastic. It's like the ultimate game of Risk happening at the same time. So that idea of Game of Thrones is like they're doing kind of the same thing in that show, where they're pitting each other. It's all strategy happening all the time, even though you think it's not. So anyway, cool. If you like that time period, the Japanese warriors back then, Shogun, that kind of stuff. It's like the end of that age.
Yeah, I'd seen the ads and it's definitely on my queue.
And I was shocked at there's full nudity. There's for a show
Dewey
on
hang
FX,
dong.
I'm like, there's boobs, There's man butts with glimpses.
Why do we never get dong? We never
Dude,
get dong.
show me
No,
some hang that dongle.
Yeah, it's I don't know.
We never get
Maybe
enough.
because it's an FX show. I don't know. You know.
That's
but
why I like Game of Thrones. We hung that dong.
I know.
We
right?
gave you
Yep.
lots of dong.
Yep. I think it's because it's on FX.
Yeah, that's
maybe.
fair. Probably. Yeah, no.
but
For
the show,
FX, I've noticed that they can only really show butt and tits.
Yeah, and then IMDb. If you look at even Rotten Tomatoes, I mean everything is like in the 90s, or 9 out of 10, or something, which is rare for a show because there's so much streaming garbage out there that's average. You know what I'm saying? Like, oh, watch this show. Everybody's telling me, watch this show, watch this show. Oh, and I look it up and it's like a 6.8 or it's a 7.2 or it's a 68%. I'm not going to waste my time on our shows that are in that range because they're dime a dozen.
I don't look. I
that.
never look up the reviews, like or the ratings.
I like to get an idea.
Oh, I love an idea. Especially like going into a horror movie because I know it's going to be like one or the other. And I can't wait.
You can't wait to find out which way it swings.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun because then I go watch it and I'm like, hey, I had fun with this. You know, like I'm not putting all the stock in the world on a horror movie. If you made me enjoy my hour and a half, thank you. I appreciate it.
I think horror movie is something where you actually, if it is, 38% on Rotten Tomatoes, that's kind of in our wheelhouse. That's kind of a fun one, probably horror movie wise, because then it's. I don't know. It's like a B flick from back in the day, which is kind of cool. So anyway, that's been the show. That's the show I've been watching, which I love. Yeah. And then just real quick too, the game that I've been playing a lot of hours in is Under the Waves. It's been getting which is strange, some mixed results as of late on Steam as far as reviews, but that's because people are just complaining about, it's more linear. The storyline's more linear. It's like, well, there's a storyline that's linear. It's like Subnautica meets the movie The Abyss is what it is.
Ooh.
And then the side note is, oh, by the way, stop polluting our oceans. You know what I mean? That's really too what the storyline is about. But
I think I've seen I haven't watched anybody play it, but I've seen like some thumbnails of like some creators that I follow.
Yeah.
So is it what kind
There's
of
a lot
what kind of gameplay is it?
So you've got a lot of interactivity on your base where you're setting up the day, you're going to decide what tasks you're going to do for those days, and you're being told what to do. Heavy's back again. Yeah. But so that's when you're inside walking around and you can interact with different things inside the underwater, whatever ship. But then you can go out, and so when your day's tasks are done, you can go out, and they always say, well, take the rest of the day off. And this happens on every day that's in the chapters. And then you can just go free for all and explore whatever you want.
So it's like a kind of free roaming kind of part of this.
Right. So you can free roam and discover treasures. You can discover supplies you need to build things in your crafting table.
Right.
Just like other games might have. But the thing I like about the most is I can just jump into my dive bell and drive around and just chill. And just that, I don't know what it is. It's the sound of being underwater and chilling and having nothing telling me what to do at that moment. It's just so relaxing.
It is.
I don't know. It's like
It
it's
sounds
like the
chill.
super. It's so chill. It's so chill. I mean, it's a single player game. However, I have noticed too that people like to watch me play the game too, like in Discord or whatever, fake gaming. So that's been a lot of fun too. So I can just roam around, and it's very controller friendly, which helps me because as an older person, having my hands up on keyboards all the time drives my wrists crazy. So with all the computer work I do all week, it's nice to just sit back in the chair and hold the controller and play the game for hours.
Yeah,
which is kind of cool.
I'm starting to see that there are a lot of reviews for people who didn't play with a controller, even though there is a warning that this dude points out. You get warned that you shouldn't. What?
Does it
it doesn't make any sense.
Video games are hard to make. Like, it's hard to make a game.
Right.
It's like making something that looks, because I just watched the trailer for Under the Waves. It looks very pretty. Like it
It's
looks
very pretty.
great. Like it probably is super chill to just kind of coast around in, maybe hop out of the submersible and just go for a stroll under the water. That seems
and then
really cool.
In the background, there's a storyline too. There's like, well, why is this seal following me around, or why are these creatures following me around for some reason? And I haven't gotten that far yet, so I don't know the exact reason for it. But you're also seeing all sorts of there's a mystery. There's also lots of wildlife that's down there that you can take pictures of and complete side quests, and a lot of side quests. So everybody's out there complaining about, oh, I've got to use a controller, or number two, it's too linear. I'm like, what are you talking about? Yeah, there's a linear story that's wrapped by this freedom. So I don't know.
Those are the same
anyway,
kind. Those people are the same kind of who try the psychopaths who try and play From Software games with a keyboard and mouse.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. Preach it. Preach it.
They're controller only. If you are playing them with a keyboard and mouse, f off. It's not for you. It's not your game.
And how many people don't have an effing controller now?
I will give you one. I got like
up.
4 in this office.
Me too.
Like,
I've got 6 in the house.
Yeah.
Like, I don't
You know what
care
I mean?
if it's like just a £10 like controller. It's still better than keyboard and mouse.
Yeah.
But why
be
wouldn't
better.
you? Like, you can just sit back, you know what I'm saying? And
just chill.
But then they're like, because they've been playing. Well, that's because they've been playing their 8 hours of Warzone, and are like, well, I don't want to switch now. I can't switch.
It's an entirely different concept of game. Just
Yeah.
There's a reason that fighting games don't work well on a keyboard. There's an exact reason. They work extremely well on the pads, like on the big pads for sure. You can do that shit. I've seen it done. But you know what else works? A controller.
Yes. And if you don't have it, on you.
Yeah, like there's a reason, like, first person shooters like tend to be like keyboard and mouse. Like Apex, like that's a weird thing now. That's a whole other conversation.
I'm not having that conversation.
We're not having that conversation.
But if you're playing cheat-wise on Call of Duty, you know what I mean? Like you need that aimbot help.
In general, like
shout out to my Destiny 2 players.
Yeah, right.
Destiny 2 is the highest aim assist in any game. It's
there you go.
Yeah, on mouse and keyboard. You get
on mouse and keyboard.
You get aim assist on mouse and keyboard. It's absolutely.
Oh
no, you still get it. You just also get it for playing on mouse and keyboard. So why wouldn't you play M&K? No, it's absolute BS.
That's crazy.
But the whole point of the game is not to be competitive. The whole point of the game is to build community. So everyone has to be great. Everyone's got to be able to hit the sniper shot.
Right.
Yeah, Call of Duty, Warzone, they do the same thing.
They do the same
Except
thing.
they give way more assist on controller.
Yeah, they do.
Way more
That's
assist.
what Apex does. But also, in a sense, I get the controller versus M&K argument on shooters because
of course.
A controller was created to play video games. Mouse and keyboard was not. Like, we're all understanding of that. We've made it happen because we're just built that way. But a controller was literally built to play these games. So,
right. But I would say in those games, though, like mouse aiming, that's where the real skill shot comes in.
Yeah.
Not for Destiny, perhaps, but for these other games.
Yeah, your Apex, your
and
Siege is a great example, actually.
Yeah, there's plenty of games where like you can have like both, or like it's just down to personal preference. But FromSoft, there's a
you will
I'm with you.
Never catch me playing M&K controls on any Dark Souls, Elden Ring, anything. Never.
Of course.
I don't hate myself enough.
Nope.
I'm really good at those games on the sticks. I'm going to be really good at those games on the sticks.
Right. And it's a sticks game, for
new
sure.
charity-like thing for Heavy to play it on M&K?
Oh, no.
A charity thing.
Sorry. Shouldn't have suggested it. I'm sorry.
Yeah, the poker tournament clears 2K. I'll do
Oh, by the way, that's great you mentioned that. Because we probably need to wrap this bad boy up. We did another great podcast, you guys. It was awesome. We got a charity poker tournament March 22nd, 8 Central, 9 Eastern. please join us at fategaming.com. Shout out to them for sponsoring.
Hey, that's us too.
And having us on our YouTube channel. Love it. Fuk Heavy, thanks so much for hanging out and babbling through another podcast. We'll see you guys, everybody out there watching and listening to the end. Appreciate it. Like, subscribe, hit that notification button, and we'll see you guys in like 3-4 weeks, something like that. I'm out.
Bye. Bye.
Well,
Thanks for listening. This was the Fate Nation podcast. Be sure to like and subscribe and check us out on all socials at Fate Gaming. Why not check out our growing community of over 4,000 gamers at www.fategaming.com. Remember, over 18s only. See you next time.
Do you even play this game, bro?
God, how did you even miss that guy?
You suck, noob.
Are you tired of being teamed up with a bunch of toxic randos who are too busy talking smack to have fun? Then join us at fategaming.com, where you can be part of a friendly and respectful 18-plus community where our members are focused on having fun and building friendships. Visit us now at www.fategaming.com.